Okay, this is Acid Roots. I'm going to review Alter Bridge's third album, AB3. Now, this came out in the fall of 2010 and was pretty much making their career. Was making their career go that much farther. They had success in 2004 with their first album, which had 3 singles. Second album in 2007 had a few more, but this project really came up short. I think that's going to be the biggest complaint from most people on this project. There's not a lot of songs that you're going to remember from the album. Now, they did release other songs across the world, in Europe and possibly Australia, but these songs did not chart in the United States, so it kind of makes it as if it's a weak listen just because we only got 2 singles. So really, out of 16 songs, it's larger than the amount of songs on other projects. Out of 16 songs, there's only 2 that you're going to really recognize. They're at the very beginning, and then the rest of the project is just whether or not you like it. So there are no other charted songs. The rock stations have not chosen to pick up any other songs off this album, so it makes it a really tough listen for folks who are just looking for something to be familiar with. This is not the album to go to for that. So with me, my thing was it kind of made me not want to listen to this album. I figured 16 songs, 2 out of 16 is way too few to even give this a mention or a review. I decided to do it just because I figured, well, they have to have good music. It's just more of a personal listen. It's not necessarily something that you're going to brag about and boast about. It's just mainly between you, maybe your close circle, and who you're close to versus just anything. And that, as far as that album being, those ideas being something, it just doesn't stand that well because, once again, there's just way too many songs for such little promotion. So the first single, Isolation, is definitely one of the best songs on here, if not the best. It's the one that's most memorable, and I think it even hit #1 on the United States rock charts. This is definitely the type of song that we needed more from Alter Bridge. I think they have a song like it called like Find the Real on their first album. And this is the idea of what needed to happen. I was really expecting like 4 songs for us to choose from out of maybe 14. There's really supposed to be 14, but they threw in 2 extra songs. This is not a complaint. I definitely do not have a problem with more music as long as there's enough promotion to where you can feel comfortable talking about it. That's really the thing is, if there's more than 2 singles, absolutely, but that's kind of the weakness. So there's 16 songs, and the next one is The Ghost of Days Gone By. Now, this one has a kind of Creed sounding feel to it. Miles Kennedy handles it, but the thing is the instrumentation on it feels more of a weaker post-grunge song. I mean, I've heard better riffs than that. It feels more. I mean, most of the time post-grunge is pretty moody, but this didn't really feel moody. It felt more of kind of like wow reflecting type thing. So, without the moodiness, how well does post-grunge fare? Well, that's about as far as the promotion of the album goes in America. So if you don't like that song, you're stuck with just one, which is horrible. So, but I've somehow convinced myself to almost like that song, but it really pushes the boundaries. It's not something that I would say is going to be a first listen hit. So, but I do like Alter Bridge. I mean, I'm glad that the band that was in Creed decided to continue because I have reviewed several Creed and Scott Stapp stuff, and I appreciate all the stuff that they've done, but I also was wondering, what's up with Mark Tremonti and the rest of the band. So I'm glad that this their music is actually effective. It is. This is a decent album, but there's just not enough promotion. So there is another song called "I Know It Hurts" that was released across Europe or maybe Australia, something like that. But that one is another kind of alternative metal type song. And there's like a steady string of songs. I actually wound up liking 7 out of 16, but it just depends upon how much other folks are going to actually know this project. Makes me wonder how many of these songs from this album they perform at concerts. I'm unaware of that, but songs like uh, "Make It Right" and "Still Remains," "Make It Right," and there's like one other one, "Life Must Go On." These happen to be post grunge, but I still almost feel like the way that the instrumentation goes on the album, I still feel like they've done it better in the past. I mean, I like the way it's handled, but it just takes some getting used to. That's really the thing about it. And the fact that you're not going to hear these songs on the radio is the other thing about that. So, good feel, but I don't feel like it's their best. So, but this album, because I like 7 out of 16, I'll tell you the 7. These are the songs you need to hear: "Isolation," "Ghost of Days Gone By," "I Know It Hurts," "Still Remains," "Life Must Go On," "Show Me a Sign," and "Make It Right." Now, you'd think enough of these would work, but the thing is if you pay attention, to whether or not you're hearing these songs, that's just the thing. So, will you hear this at concerts, and will you care when you hear it? That's the strange part, but this is fairly good alternative metal. So this album is going to get like a 4.5 out of 10. Really, I do think that there's pretty much, once again, there is no excuse to only have 2 singles across 16 songs. It's just too much of a chore. And the social score gets like a 2 out of 10 just for this reason. And that means how well it plays around your friends. Can this record be topped? Yes, absolutely. I think Alter Bridge probably has done it down the road. I want to review their second album. And the future, they dropped an album just in the fall of 2016. So subscribe for more fun.